I have discovered something new. You take a camera, you point it at yourself, and you start talking. And then you send it out to the world, to YouTube, for example. This is a new concept, I know. I think I'm gonna call it vlogging. Yes, it's like a blog, but a video blog. Yes. Okay, so today's video is going to be a bit different. I'm going to try to vlog with both the iPhone 12 Pro that I'm recording on right now and this, the GoPro Hero 9, just to see which one is better for vlogging basically. So, real quick about the iPhone 12 Pro. I'll be recording in 24 frames per second and I'm using the front-facing camera. Now I know that the back camera is better and we're going to do some comparison shots, but I was just thinking for the purpose of vlogging, there's no way that I'm not going to be able to record myself and not seeing if I'm in focus or not. So, you know, it has to be the front-facing camera. That's it. On the GoPro Hero 9, I'll be recording in 4K 24 frames per second. I could go up to 5K, but in order for it to be a fair comparedness, I think that 4K should be, you know, the optimal choice here. And also, I think that the image stabilization will probably be a bit better. I have Hyper Smooth activated. And regarding the audio quality, this will be in audio quality because I can't really connect anything like a lav microphone to the GoPro unless I get the media mod, and I'm just not gonna do that. But I mean, if we would have compared the audio quality with the iPhone where I can connect a microphone, it would be a no contest. This would win every time. But here I'm just looking for a more portable solution. And so the question I've been asking myself recently is, do I still need a GoPro? Every year, GoPro has been able to convince me that, yeah, I do need a GoPro. Hopefully next year I won't make the same mistake. Now it's very important that you vlog about something interesting. Now in case you're wondering where I am today, I'm in a park. It's not a fun park, it's a green park here in Sweden, in the south of Sweden. I'm not gonna reveal anything more than that. Now a quick disclaimer, this video is in no way influenced by the channel. I shouldn't have mentioned it, now they will all know. Is this good content? No, but seriously, Casey from Camera Conspiracies, he does these type of videos all the time and he does them to perfection. If you want the ultimate tests, the ultimate comparisons for a vlogging camera, you should check out his channel and stop watching this. So, first of all, let's try the image stabilization. That's the one that I'm most interested in. In the past, I would have said that the GoPro wins hands down. It's the most stable video, and I think even to this day, it still is. But the iPhone is not bad. It's just getting better and better. Is it on par with the GoPro? Probably not. But if you look at the colors on the iPhone, I think they pop way more. So I'm gonna say that when it comes to image quality, probably the iPhone. When it comes to low light performance, they're both pretty bad. But even there, I would say that the iPhone wins. When it comes to image stabilization, I think you can tell that this is pretty good on the GoPro. On the iPhone, not so much. But there is something that you need to know about the iPhone's image stabilization. And that is, if you shoot on the back camera with the superwide, the image stabilization is amazing. You don't believe me? I didn't think so. I'll show you. So, shooting with the wide camera, I'm gonna walk a bit faster now, just so you can get some moving action. And as you can see, the GoPro probably wins here, but the iPhone is actually pretty good. It's pretty solid. It's pretty stable. Pun intended? No, I don't think so. So, for image stabilization, I think both are pretty good. But if we're talking image quality, I definitely gotta say that the iPhone wins this one. And especially in low light, that's where the GoPro is just 1 out of 10. That's really bad. Now, one huge advantage to shooting on a GoPro is that you can see that there's definitely a much wider angle on the GoPro from the exact same distance. On the iPhone, if you want some more distance, you could of course switch to the back camera and go to super wide. Then you get a lot in the picture, so to speak. I can't really say if the audio quality is good because I haven't actually tested it. I'll know it when I start editing it, but it would be really nice to know your opinion. Which do you think sounds better? Just, in mic. And again, just to be fair, like on the iPhone, it would win hands down if I just plug in an external microphone. I could do the same thing on the GoPro, but it's not as simple of a solution. And now it's time for me to embarrass myself. I'm gonna run with both cameras, although I can't imagine a situation where I'd have to run and vlog at the same time, but it will give us a good idea of how good the image stabilization is. So let's do this. Vlogging and running. Oh God, this is a bad idea. But of course, there's no fun in testing the image stabilization unless you do it in slow motion. So here we go. I pushed up the limit to 60 frames per second, and then I'm gonna slow it down. Here we go. Now this is the good camera on the iPhone, but it's regular wide, but I can go even wider. You don't believe me? Check this out. Huh? Isn't that wide? That's really wide. I bet you can almost tell the GoPro being next to it. This is real cinematic, I know. I like it. So yeah, I'm walking, and as you can probably tell, the image stabilization is a bit smoother than compared to the selfie camera. That's because the wider the lens, the more stable it looks. I don't know why. Laws of physics, I guess. Now, I did mention that on the iPhone you could use different lenses. You could use a super wide lens, but on the GoPro it's not actually that fixed. You can actually go wider. Let me show you. Now, I know this looks ridiculous, but if you want a really wide shot, and this is it. And it's like, I don't know, maybe 20, maybe 25 centimeters between me and the camera lens. That's actually pretty good. I like it. Can't really do the same thing on the selfie cam on the iPhone, but again, I could use the back camera and get pretty much the similar results. Now remember, it's very cool to vlog, but it's not cool to be a vlogger. Does that make sense? So I wanted to talk a little bit about the downside of using a GoPro. So first of all, the low light. That's a biggie. I think it's like really horrible when you shoot indoors. The second thing is battery life. The GoPro battery is just so tiny and it uses so much battery capacity to stabilize the image, to do all sorts of tweaks. I don't know. But comparing it to the iPhone is like way better. Like you can record for, well, at least I'd say 3 or 4 hours, maybe. I haven't actually tested it. On the GoPro, I'm lucky if I can record for 2 hours. Now, if you have extra batteries, it's not a real concern. On the iPhone, however, you can always use a battery pack. The second thing I would say is bad with the GoPro is that sometimes the files do get corrupt. Sometimes the camera freezes, and it's because, well, let's face it, the company GoPro is a bunch of surfers and they're very laid back, and they don't have the perfectionist ideals like Apple does. GoPro, seriously, it's been like 10 years, you still haven't fixed the freezes. Like I still have to do that quick thing where I just pop out the battery and put it back in just to unfreeze the damn camera. It's getting kind of old, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's not very reliable. Sometimes I can record something and I'm not really sure if it actually gets recorded. On the iPhone, I never have that issue. Never had a corrupt file of any kind on the iPhone. Just doesn't happen. Okay, so what about the perks on the iPhone? Why is it good for vlogging? Well, first of all, I'd like to say just look at that dynamic range, even on the selfie cam, which is not as good as on the back. That's pretty good. That's pretty remarkable. But I mean, there's lots of perks, like there's lots of apps. You can color grade it directly on the phone and upload it directly. So it's a very portable solution, and you always have your phone in your pocket. I like that. I like that portability, and there's a sort of a minimalistic feel to it. And there is even a little background blur. Don't think I'm crazy. Of course, I'm not comparing it to the Sony A7C, but if you shoot on the back camera, the good lens, yeah, you get some separation between yourself and the background, which is important to make good content on YouTube. That's important. Remember that. I've been thinking a lot about what kind of downsides there are to filming with the iPhone. And to be completely honest, like compared to the GoPro, I can't really think of too many, except for the fact that maybe it's not as durable. I mean, I already have scratches on it, so, and that's with having a case and a screen protector. Go figure, yeah. Ceramic shield my ass. I mean, what I'm basically trying to say is that there are lots and lots of perks to shooting on the iPhone, and there are very little perks to the GoPro. And so if I'm gonna make a decision which camera to use for vlogging when I'm outside, it's a no-brainer actually. It's the iPhone. But Tom, what if the phone rings when you're recording? Well, then you just go into airplane mode. Duh. Do not disturb. I'm recording a vlog. I also want to mention just the portability things, like the fact that you can edit your videos on the iPhone. I'm going to recommend an app here. It's called Video Leap. You can use iMovie, but I just prefer Video Leap. And there's also the fact that you can color grade. You can put in LUTs. Yeah, you can put in LUT on your iPhone footage directly in the iPhone. You can put on filters, effects, if you're into that. I'm not. And again, the idea of just being able to upload directly to YouTube, that's a good thing, I think. I want to mention also the low light performance. It's not good. It's definitely not the Sony A7C, but it's actually pretty good. Just to show you what it looks like when you're recording indoors. Now, don't get me wrong, you can definitely vlog indoors, but you gotta have good light. Like, it has to be almost daylight in order for it to be good. And I still think that the iPhone is better. Just check this out. There's just something about the iPhone algorithm, like the camera algorithm. It just makes everything just really pop. You got this dynamic range, like I can press on the screen and get more colors from the blue highlights in the sky, no problem. You can't do it on the screen on the GoPro, but that's usually okay. You don't really need it that much. I'm just saying that you can. Now, where things get more complicated, if it's when you're shooting in, I wouldn't say like a very low light environment, but it just has to be a bit less light. And you start to see a lot more grain on the GoPro. It's not bad, like you can use it. Most people probably don't care, they care more about the audio. But compare this to the iPhone. Okay, it's not exactly what I would call good, but it's a bit better. Now, tell me if I'm wrong, but I think this is better. And also, if you want really good low light performance from your iPhone, you can just switch to the back camera. Let me show you. As you can see, hopefully, because I can't see, because the screen is on the back of the phone, so I can't see myself. But hopefully you can notice that the image quality is a lot better. There's a lot less noise. So this is obviously something that you would prefer, right? But then comes Sony with a full frame camera and basically says, never send a smartphone or a camera like a GoPro to do a man's job. That makes no sense. Another fun perk is that if you have the iPhone 12 Pro, not the regular 12, but the 12 Pro, you get the telelens, and then you get like a 2x zoom. I mean, 2x is kind of sad, but it's actually pretty good, you know? Something to consider about the GoPro is that it's got a really nice flat bottom, so you can put it on a flat surface. And you don't need a tripod. As with the iPhone, I mean, technically it's flat, but you can't place this. It will just poof, fall down, so you need a tripod for this. That's also something to consider. One thing I want to say though is that it's amazing, both on the iPhone and the GoPro, how good the microphones have gotten. The audio quality is just so much better than, for example, the iPhone 4 or the GoPro Hero 3. It's actually pretty remarkable. Sometimes you don't really need an external microphone, although you always get better audio when you're recording with an external. Yeah, but what about Android? Okay, so Android. I love to test out Android phones. I love to test, for example, smartphones that can record slow motion 960 frames per second. That's pretty fun. That's a lot of fun. I'll tell you that one for sure. And recently I played around with the Xiaomi Mi 10T Pro just to test out the 8K capabilities. But I gotta say, it's happened a bit too much that I've actually lost entire files. I actually haven't lost them, they're still there, but they're just like corrupt. I can't play them, I can't edit them. And also the rolling shutter is just horrible, especially if you're recording in 8K. I would say that for recording videos, iPhone is better. I mean, okay, some Android devices do have a bigger sensor, but my files are still corrupt. You know what I mean? And the Xiaomi Mi 10T Pro has a big sensor. Like really, when you think about it, the smartphone, what a great time to be alive. I mean, you can do, it's the ultimate vlogging device, you know? I do like my Sony A7C, but it's not portable. It's not portable enough to have in your pocket, so can't use it. Sometimes though, the iPhone colors are a bit weird. That is not a skin tone, for example. That is not my skin tone. It looks good. Now, one thing you have to also consider is that the screen on the iPhone is much bigger than the GoPro. I like it that the Hero 9 has a front-facing screen, but it's so tiny, and even the one on the back is kind of, I mean, come on. The iPhone screen, even if you pick the iPhone 12 mini, that's a big screen, you know? And it's important because sometimes you want to have creative control when you're making a vlog, and you want to see if everything is sharp, if the colors are correct. The only thing you can really use the GoPro screen for is to see if you're in frame or not. That's it. And most of the time, it's good enough. Vlogging is fun. Yes. One thing that I don't like about vlogging outdoors is that I can't handle it when people are watching. I just can't do it. When I pass by people, I just, go like, I hide the camera real quick. I can't do it. I don't know how some vloggers do it. It's like, I just can't do it. I just have this idea that they'll look at me and go like, hey, what are you doing? And I'll be like, nothing. Just making a video, I don't know. Just feels kind of embarrassing. Yeah, I should probably work on that. Look at that wide angle lens. Like I can sit anywhere. You don't get this wide on the iPhone. And that's pretty remarkable if you want to show something. That's a good positive on the GoPro. Okay, so I'm gonna try now with the iPhone on the super view, super wide. I mean, it's pretty wide, but is it as good as the GoPro? I don't know. It's okay, I guess. Now, if there are any upsides that I want to mention about the GoPro, it is that it's truly very tiny, it's very durable, it's very sturdy. The image quality might not be as good as on the iPhone, but the image stabilization, that's like amazing. And I'm not just talking about the new Hypersmooth 3.0. I'm also talking about the whole linear tilting thing. I don't have it turned on, but trust me, you can turn it on and then it's always like flat. That's really cool. And it's cute. It has lots of settings. You can do 4K time lapses. You can do the hyperlapse. You can do something similar on the iPhone, but it's not in 4K unless you use an app for it. And yeah, it's a good solution. But why vlog? Like, what's the point? Is it just about watching yourself on the screen? Ooh, look at those highlights. No, I've mentioned it before. I just like this idea of people communicating, showing their side on the world, their perspective, their lives. Like, we're all connected on the interweb with our 56K modems. I think that's cool. Now, you know, I don't want to knock too much on the GoPro. There was a time when the GoPro had something that smartphones just couldn't offer. You know, it had slow motion, it could record in 4K, it had amazing image stabilization, it was portable, it was durable, still is though. And most of all, it's a really fun camera to play with. So I'm grateful to GoPro. I've had a lot of fun using a GoPro these last couple of years. But is the GoPro Hero 9 my last GoPro? I want to say yes, but every year GoPro puts in a new feature that gets me all excited, and I'm just praying and hoping that this year GoPro will release a very boring. I think that a lot of people think that they have nothing interesting to say, but the truth is, you do. All of us. We all have a story to tell. We all can share something interesting and inspire each other, make us laugh. Sometimes it can be really funny, actually. But anyway, if you have a camera and you have a good story to tell, share it. Now, I wish so bad that I could just have my Sony A7C with me all the time, but it's just not realistic. So Apple, if you're listening, if you can add a full frame lens to the iPhone, that would be great. Yeah. How hard can it be? See right there? It just cut the video in half for some reason. It just stopped recording while I was talking. That never, ever happens on the iPhone. This is what I mean when I say that the people who work at GoPro, they're a bunch of lazy people who don't seem to care about their customers. They make cool cameras though, but seriously, I can't rely on the GoPro footage. I just can't. I wish I could. I want to love it. I get so inspired when I watch those GoPro commercials, you know, those action junkies jumping out of airplanes and stuff like that. But let's be honest, I'm not gonna do any crazy stunts. That would be so beneath me. People always ask me where I live, and I don't want to brag, but this is it. This is where I live. Yeah, cool, huh? Nah, I'm kidding. This is not where I live. It's such a beautiful day here in Sweden today. It's the end of May, and when the colors are popping like this, then you know, the image quality from the iPhone, it's like remarkable. You know, maybe not that highlight. Hold on, there we go. Again, colors, amazing. Seriously amazing. But the moment you have a bit too much light or too little light, the iPhone algorithm starts to work its magic. And sometimes the results aren't too good. It has something like AI scene recognition and stuff like that. It's kind of looks really silly sometimes. But thankfully, you can turn all of that off and pretty much shoot, well, I wouldn't say raw, but 10-bit flat colors. Yeah. Now, the GoPro, I wouldn't say it's better. It's definitely not. I mean, the colors are pretty good on a good day like this, but there is a lot of over sharpening and stuff. I don't know. something about the sensor. Nobody knows how big the sensor is, but it does a lot of over sharpening and stuff. It's definitely not as flat. You can make it pretty flat, and it's called Pro Tune. It's okay if you want to edit stuff like that. I just want to have something that looks good in like auto, you know. But what do you think? Which image quality was the best? Was it the GoPro or was it the iPhone 12 Pro? I'd really like to know. And also, I wanted to mention that I have made reviews of both the GoPro and the iPhone 12 Pro. I'll put links to those videos in the video description. Cool. I'll see you later.